everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a little behind the scenes look into my commission process. I'll be working on character portrait. In this video, it's a shoulder up view of a character casting a spell. They wanted a really cool glowing effect coming from below from her casting the spell. You'll get to see how I bring this piece to life and walk you through the steps I take from start to finish, the commission process and the art process. So once I settle all the details with the client, whether that's on Reddit or Etsy, I explain how I'll handle each stage of the project. This helps clear up expectations for both me and the client. I always start with a sketch to nail down the composition and the overall vibes of the character. This is so important because I feel like you can get so much from the sketch phase, and it's the best opportunity to change things if you're not happy with the pose. If you want different emotions or facial expressions, this is the best time to do it. Any of those big changes, they happen in the sketch phase. It's important because these major changes can completely change the feeling of the final drawing, and starting a sketch over is much easier than going from scratch after I've already spent 2 hours on the rendering. Once the client approves the sketch, I move on to the line art and colouring. I never move on to this stage until I approve the sketch from the client, because the client might turn around and say, I hate that, I want a different pose, or oh, I actually like the vibes of this, can you turn it into a half body instead of shoulder up? So these need to be taken into consideration before putting any time into it that is going to be too difficult to go back on. So the sketch phase is where the major changes happen. I get approval for that, and then we move on to the client the whole way through the commission process. As you can see, I'm working with Procreate here. It's definitely my go-to app for commissions. An iPad app, I'm sure everybody knows what Procreate is. I have a couple of tutorials on my channel, so feel free to go to those for a more in-depth Procreate tutorial. But I've even developed my own custom brushes to match the mood and effects I'm after in each specific drawing. Minor plug for my brushes, so I'll link them in the description below, but definitely each drawing comes with its own unique set of brushes, because no brush can sometimes give you the exact feel I'm looking for. I use a lot of cool tones in this specific drawing to show the lightning effect, and the client provided a 3D model that they designed, so I was using this as a guide for the vibes of the character. The glowy vibe really suits my style. I think it brings so much life to natural portraits, especially stuff like this. I just work really well with strong glowy lighting. Started rambling a bit. Let's get it back to the client talk. I let my clients choose how they want to communicate with me. If someone orders on Etsy but they want to talk to me through Reddit, that is no problem at all. Some prefer email, others prefer any other social media like Instagram. I'm okay with anything. For revisions on the final piece and anything that involves sending photos, I usually like to use email. That's just to get the most high quality stuff. I usually send a Google Drive link as well. This makes it really easy for the client to access everything, and I put all of the stages of the drawing in there, and they can constantly just go back to it, see the changes that I made, and they get those midway updates in the drive link as well. It's all about transparency, keeping the client updated at each stage, and also avoid any surprises and manage those expectations throughout the whole drawing process. Once we've passed the sketch stage and moving into line art and colouring, I offer small changes. This could be that's my bedtime reminder, it is very late at night, I am so sorry. Anyway, after the sketch is approved and we move on to line art and colouring and rendering, I do offer small changes, things like changing the colour palette, or maybe adding in a small detail in the background, anything like that. Small projects, no problem, but once the sketch is approved, I can't just go and rework the pose, stuff like that. Only very minor changes to the pose. Oh, I think her eyes are too far apart, I pictured them closer together. That's, I could probably work with that, but these big changes would be can you add in an extra hand? I want the pose to be from below her chin, not eye level. Big changes like that need to be kept to a minimum, especially after the sketch is approved. I know pricing is a big deal in commissions, so for those interested, my single portrait commissions range from 50 to €100. I have all of my prices listed on my Etsy. where you can see in more detail how much I charge per extra person, or like more detailed pieces or custom pieces. And please don't use my prices as a guide for you, because everybody is unique and different, and how they value their art is different. I can do a whole video on pricing commissions if you would like. Just let me know in the comments and I can get to work on it. But just for me personally, a general guide is portrait commissions range from 50 to 100. It depends on complexity and details. Most of my clients pay up front, but I'm pretty flexible personally and offer half and half payments if needed. But to my knowledge, I don't think I've had anyone do that before. Most people that I've dealt with pay up front. Feel this keeps things accessible while also making sure everyone's on the same page. As long as you talk to your client at the beginning and like expectations are managed for how the payment process is going to look. I love when I get creative freedom on pieces, but I always make sure the clients get the final say. Everything comes back to the client, really. The balance is what makes the commission work so rewarding. I can bring my style and ideas to the table while also creating something that really speaks to the client's visions. A good example of this is that the client approved the sketch of the drawing you're currently watching, and the original sketch, I will put a clip of it here, had two hands which were going to be like casting the spell. But after I did some line art and I looked at it, I was like, hang on a minute, like it kind of looks better without the hands in my opinion. So I just contacted the client again and I was like, I personally think the hands draw attention away from the face, and the client wanted the emotions on her face to be a central part of the drawing, so I let them choose whether they wanted me to remove the hands or not, and they did. So things aren't set in stone even after things are approved, and I think this is where the client and artist communication is really important. Art is all about being collaborative, and especially when it comes to commissions, it is a whole collaborative process where communication needs to stay open between the client and the artist, and that can go both ways as well. So we as artists can do our best to do what we can with what the client provides us. I had a commission that has given me 100% creative freedom, and they don't want to dictate anything about the drawing, and that's fine. That was communicated from the very beginning. It wasn't like at the end of that process they were like, I hate that drawing, I didn't approve this. There was open communication through the whole thing, and even when a client does give 100% creative freedom, I still keep the process the same, updating them on line art, colors, rendering. I update them on everything, and I also really enjoy the process of having a Google Drive link, because even if for some reason I lose access to if I clear out my files and I lose access to the line art stage of the drawing, because as an artist I'm always trying to free up space, and I do delete past iterations of my artwork, even commissions, the client still has access to it. I think that's really important too. Instead of having to scroll through their emails trying to find it, it is right there in Google Drive link, perfect for them to find and use. On top of my commission work, I'm also working on so many projects right now. I am working on illustrations for tote bags and hoodies. I'm also working on a tarot deck, Dungeons and Dragons theme. I think I said that backwards. Dungeons and Dragons tarot theme deck and potential illustrations as well. All of that you can see on my Etsy shop. I also have a limited run on my Etsy shop of the cutest tote bag design. So that is very limited right now because I'm currently not making any profit on it. I'm trying to gauge interest in the design. So if you're really interested in checking out my Etsy shop, you may be able to get your hands on a really cool tote bag that is not going to be priced so low for very long. Once they're gone, they're gone. So feel free to check that out in the description below. Thank you so much for watching this video today. I hope you got some good insight into how I handle my commissions and the work that goes into each and every piece. If you're interested in a commission of your own, feel free to reach out to me on Etsy. I will have it linked in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.